Alan, how you doing? I've always got my work shirts on, haven't I? Today's video is Concorde because I finished it tonight, and I'm looking over here because it's over here, and I'm going to go through book. There is a preview video on this. I think I did it a couple of days since last week, whatever. But I finished it. All right, so roll that intro. No intro. Let's have a look. See you in about 20 seconds. Cheers. What do you think to that? Well, all right. Takes me ages to do them. Concorde. Airfix 1 in 72 scale model kit. Right, I'll tell you what this kit will do. This kit will absolutely, well, it'll make you go bald. Before I started it, I had a full load of air. I didn't really. Concorde 1 in 72. First thing, it's absolutely enormous. I didn't measure it. I ought to have been and got tape measure out. I didn't measure it. But I didn't. Now, if you build 1 in 72s, normally, you know, I've got a tornado up here, 172 tornado. I've got a load of A's down here. I've still got my own phone. And they're relatively small, aren't they? And it just goes to show how big this chuffing thing is. In fact, when I take some, I have taken some pictures, but when I take some more, I ought to put my little 1 in 72 tornado outside of it because, Jesus Christ, it absolutely dwarfs it. So, starting with stand war, dead easy. Couple of parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a screw, 6 parts on stand, and actually it's all right. The one thing that you've got to remember for that is there's a little recess underneath. And you've got to cut that out. You get 3 options, option A, B, and C. One's showing you with the stand on, one is on the ground, and one is with some string. Is it 1970? Right, so you start on your engines, and I'm going to try and remember, because it's been a labour of love as this one. If you don't know why I've built it, other videos underneath this one somewhere. Starting with engines then, couple of parts, and fit, not great. Okay, let me do what I'll tell you what, because a lot of people have got this in their stash. Airfix 1 in 72 Concorde. Let's scale everything out of 10, right? So engine fit, well, it's exhaust fit really, exhaust fitting, all that together. 7. Number 2 is carrying on with that and putting some little bits in. And we're talking, when I'm scoring it 7 out of 10, I'm talking about ejector pin marks, flash. Does it actually fit together? Is there a lot of sanding to do? And everything starts on a 10. Let's start there. Everything starts on a 10. And you knock a point off for each, don't you? So if it's got flash, point off. Ejector pin marks, point off. If the fit is rubbish, point off. If it needs a load of filler, point off. So let's start again. Hiya, welcome to my show. Number 1, engines 6. And keeping on number 2, engines obviously still a 6. 3 is opposite side and 4 is opposite side. 5, front window. I did do some research on the Concorde, and the pivot motion on this is actually very, very good. 8. Into your office, very basic, but you do get decals. 8, it's not bad. And then you're on to throwing some bulkheads in on number 7. Back of your office and a bulkhead straight away. Don't ever think. 7. That front window, what a pain in the ass that is. But it still scores a 7 because actually it's really, it was only the fit. And if you've seen the other video, I tried to make the nose droop and I couldn't do it. So in the end, I talked last time, didn't I, about that lad that had watched his videos. And he said, oh, you can't do it, you can't do it. And I thought, I'll show you, you can't do it. Well, I couldn't do it. So if you go and show it, do it now, right? And say, oh, this is how I did it. Brilliant. Number 9, number 9 is very, very complicated because you've got fuselage sides, inner window, outer window, nose, and a couple of little clear parts. And very, very complicated. Because I'm not kidding, Jesus Christ, that needs 3 hands and 14 fingers on each hand to get that little bit right. Number 10, wheels. 9, because it's a hub and a rubber tyre. And the rubber tyres are all right. I mean, I've got to remember how old this kit is. The rubber tyres were all right, but the sprue gates aren't the word. The tyres are held onto the actual rubber sprue. Obviously, I cut them off with a pair of scissors, and then you've got to sort of sand them back or trim them back with a blade. 11 is same. 12 is constructing front undercarriage, which was a 9. 13 and 14, you do get 2 steel pins in this kit that sit inside the main structure of your rear undercarriage. It's complicated. 8, knocking a couple of points off. 15, undercarriage, putting your wheels on, which obviously you don't do because, as we know, you build everything up and then paint it. 17 were a bit awkward at first because when I started looking at 17 and 18, and it's 2 components, and I looked at it, and obviously, you're cutting off sprue and you start building it, and then actually it turns out, I'll talk about what it is in a minute. 19 and 20 is it's an 8 out of 10 because the diagram's not cracking. So when you build it, you're thinking, where the chuffing hell's that going? And then 21 is what number 17 and 18 are for, and then it actually comes to light. So I didn't even know this. Right on the arse end of the Concorde, there's another wheel. There's another set of wheels. Wheel it door, which you can either have up or down. And I had mine up. I just blanked it off. 22 is actually blanking it off. 23 is putting your nose cone on and your P-toe tube, a couple of little aerials, and again, that's miles out of whack is that. But they all fit in. 24 is fitting your main undercarriage housing, and again, it shows you there. Look in the circle, it shows cutting off that tab. What's the fit like? 9. Scoring quite well, isn't it, so far? 25 is a double pager, and that's fitting your main undercarriage housing in the front. Loads of bulkheads down the frame to give it some structure. Putting the other fuselage side on. Sitting that on top of the wing section, which you've already built up in stage 24. Don't forget we're on stage 25 at the moment. Also on stage 25 is putting, well, on top of this Concorde, there's like a little ridge on top, and you know what? I've never ever noticed it before. Not that I've looked at Concorde that much in depth that I've thought, oh, I wonder what that is. And me and Paul Radcliffe from Liverpool, we had a chat about it. We had a bit of laugh about it the other day. And do you know what? It weren't until today that I realised how much of a doofus I must have sounded like, because originally I says, Paul's a Scouser and we're having a bit of banter. And I says, I'll tell you what that is, Paul. It's the first class baggage area where they do the overhead storage for your bags. And we'd left it a couple of days and he's been busy and poorly and sleeping a lot. And then it weren't until today and I thought, first class baggage area. Concorde's all first class. You know what I mean? But it sticks out like a sore thumb. For me personally, it's out of scale. It looks chuffing massive. 26, that's where your problems start, boys and girls, because that's fitting wing on. In fact, I tell a lie, your problems start on 25, because once you've got your fuselage halves together in a cylinder, that sits on top of a wing. And again, I've said it in previous video, you've got lugs and recesses in your wing, and the lugs have got to fit into those precise locations so that it marries correctly. Except on this particular kit, it didn't marry correctly at all. I'm not going to dwell on it. If you want to know why, have a look at the previous video to this one. 26 is putting upper wing surfaces on. And again, that's exactly the same, putting sort of like tabs into recesses and making it so. And you can see there that you've basically got, you know, the central section built with all those reinforcement baffles inside. Bottom wing on, and you can see there that you're putting your top wing on. 27, 28 is flaps, no drama. Ejector pin marks, yes. Flash, little bit. Fit, shit. Yeah, 7. 29 is putting that cockpit on, that section that you fit on there, scores 1. And again, have a look at my previous video if you want to know why. And I mean, just look, right, at all these lines that are in number 29 diagram. It's like, where the chuffing hell do you start with that? 30, 31 flaps on the other side. 32, some antenna and aerials underneath. And again, a double pager, which means it's all 32. So you've got your nose on. Now you're putting your tail on. Previous video. And then right at the back end, you've got your little bit on as well, and you put your flaps on. Yeah, you do. 33, you are attaching exhaust engines, which you've previously built, and a couple of little clear parts. 34 is showing you what to do if you want to have your undercarriage down. For options A and B, that's not on string. Fit was actually very, very good. Good locating holes, decent pegs on the parts that fit into those holes. There were no flash. Good fit. Well, actually a 9. 35 is showing you what to do if you want your undercarriage bays in the closed position. 35, and you've got everything else on. And then, that's it, 35, you've built it. Decal options, 1976 to 84. British Airways Concorde. You do not get French option with this one. Alistair asked me that question about a week ago, and I didn't reply for 2 reasons, Al. Number 1, really? You're asking me if I'm going French? Really, mate? On what's classed as a British Concorde for a guy that is English, were brought up in Britain, born in Britain, raised in Britain, died in Britain, so that were a no-brainer. Option 2 is 85 to 97. It's got different tail art and different side art, and then the one that I went for is the 98 to 2003 version, which is got the nice tail art on it. It's a lot more flowing, is this tail art, than the other 2 variants. The next page is showing you stencils, and the page after that is showing you stencils. That's it. Right. So that's the book, 14 minutes in. Thanks for staying with me. That's the book. Right. Question. Let's do questions, okay? And normally I sort of tackle these questions a little bit further on into the video. Let's do this one. Would I build it again? No chance. Absolutely no chance. I would. I mean, talk about a glutton for punishment. The thing is, no, be serious. Would I build it again? I would actually. And I would build this kit again, because I've been doing this hobby for 7 years, and I haven't done a massive variety of kits. People that know me, Jesus Christ, he's built something other than a tornado. And I think if you can tackle the Airfix 1 in 24 Spitfire, I think if you add into the mix there the Revel 1 in 48 Tornado flap system, if you can tackle them two, you know, everything else must just like chicka 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 bleh, fall into place. There's more complicated kits out these days, and all, you know, your Zukimuras and stuff like that. But as far as just your standard kit, I think if you can build them two, you can pretty much knock anything together. This one though, it's straight up there in the top three. So you've got the number one is the Airfix Spitfire, the big Mark VB, I think it is, the one in 24, because I had to get industrial size clamps out to clamp that goddamn fuselage together. It was such an absolute beep. And this falls very, very nicely into position number two, because of that upper and lower wing section fitting into that tube. It just did not want to go in like it should have done on the diagram, which meant that I had to end up putting on two sections, loads and loads of plastic hard, filler, sprue glue, sanding it back. At one point, I'm thinking, do I need to go and get my dad's Orbital sander out? It was that bad. But I did manage to build it, and the photos that I put up at the end, I want to say the contrary to don't do it justice. Actually, the photos look a million times better than what the actual kit does. However, I used a new paint. Let's do a couple of positives then. I used a brand new paint on this particular kit, MRP 006.1, 006.2. Done that off memory. One's a hardener, one's a paint. Same amounts, that one and that one. Chicka chicka chick, off you go. And it dries ultra hard, ultra glossy. And a shout out to Fred Foot. Cheers, Fred. Thanks for me gloss, mate. I'd actually run out of gloss about 2 or 3 days ago at 1:45. And even though I've got this ultra hard, ultra glossy paint on, I still wanted to give it another gloss coat because it's a commercial airliner and they are sping. And I'd run out of gloss. I won't use any other gloss apart from the Alclad 2 660, the aqua gloss. And Fred's on my Facebook, and I seen his little green light on Messenger, so I'm like, Fred, ping, please tell me you're awake, baby. So Marky Mark, mate, I need some gloss, and I need it like yesterday. Puts it in post next morning. So absolute champion. So after it had been painted and glossed, then we talk about decals, don't we? And I think I have actually still got the box for this kit. I've got backache. I have still got the box for this kit, and I'm sure it's marked up in old money, i.e. pre-1971. It is that old. So the decals on them. Now, decaling, we've all got us way, haven't we? Warm water, hot water, bathe it in this, put it on kitchen towel, tweezers, dad. We all do it different. Everybody does it, but the end result's the same. The decal gets dipped in water for a period of time and it comes off the backing paper. No, it don't. No, it don't. I could have bathed these decals in a bath full of micro set, the blue one, for a week, and they still wouldn't have come off. I had to put a brand new number 11 blade into me handle, and literally just sort of tease the decal up at the corner, thinking, I hope to Christ you don't rip. And touch wood, I got away with it. Every single decal did finally peel off. And I've only just noticed recently through building some older kits that when you've got a relatively new kit and you dip your decal in, that blue paper, it turns a different colour. And you can always tell an old decal because when you dip it, the backing paper turns white. And when you come to take the decal off, it sticks to the backing paper as well. Now, I have got a solution for that, all right, and I sort of responded to a question about a month ago on Facebook asking me exactly the same thing. A guy had posted on saying, I've got some really, really tiny decals for this Phantom that I'm doing. Salute you, sir, because I've been there 4 times. Instead of cutting them out and this, that, so how do you do it? Well, if you didn't know, if you've got a tiny decal that you want to get off your backing paper and you don't want to cut it out with either a blade or a pair of scissors, dead simple solution. Paintbrush, micro set, that's your blue one, dip it in and just paint it over that decal. Give it about 45 seconds, come straight off. Did you know that? I only learned that by accident. All right. So decals were an absolute nightmare. This particular kit does not come with internal glazing. So you've got to micro crystal clear every single window, of which there's probably about 24, 25 on each side. Engines weren't a great fit. Undercarriage bay doors weren't a great fit. There's no tabs to locate them on. So I've had to make my own out of some plastic card. The nose can only go up, even though the instructions say I am begging you to put me in a sloping position. Like I said, I couldn't do that. And then all in all, it sits on stand. So, would I build it again? Yeah, I would, because I want one. And I want to get that fuselage sorted out. I think that if I had to tackle that again, you know, I would do so many different things to how I've done this one. Well, what if I've learned, if I already know that, why didn't I just do them bits I've learned on this kit? Well, it's because this is a very special commission. And again, it's not for me. It's for a lady whose dad passed away. And she's come to the club and said, will somebody please build me this Concorde? And I've done it for her. So that's what it is. And I'm actually going to give it to her a week today. I don't even know what day it is today. 31st. I think it's 31st of July today, 2022. So I'm going to give it to her next Sunday. I know that for a fact. Would I build it again? Yeah, because I want to be able to tackle all those sort of problems. That's why I've got 10 tornadoes in my cabinets here, because every single one I've learned something different. However, would I build it again? Would I chuff? What an absolute nightmare kit this Airfix 1 in 72 Concorde is. It will absolutely drive you bonkers. Okay. Value for money, I don't know, because I didn't pay for it. I had it given to build, which I don't mind. Paint were cracking, obviously, with that MRP. Decals were absolutely shite. The fit on it is absolutely shocking. And I could have launched it at least 4 times into my other side of my garage, into my garage abyss that's got lawnmowers and shit in it. Okay. But it's going to a very special place a week on Sunday. That just about wraps that up for that one. It's an absolute goddamn nightmare. And if it weren't for the fact, the reason why I've had to build it, I probably would have tossed it, to be absolutely honest. Not shelf queened it, I would have just binned it. That's how much work and effort's gone into it, and that's how much I've had to see it through. Okay. I did start the Zweiling, didn't I, before this particular piece came along. I'm on holiday still this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't actually think I'm going to start anything just yet. I'm having a rest because I've put that many hours into this particular build. All right. So I'm going to have a rest for a couple of days and tidy my garage out. I say that all the time, don't I? I'll be back in here in the morning, spruing up. Thanks for watching as usual, and stay safe. Stay safe, everybody, and take care. Now I'm going to play my outro. I've got my intro, you've seen that. Now I'm going to play my outro and see what you think to this one. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys. Catch you later. Cheers. Ta-ra.